the time has arrived. We have reached the final match of the 2023 Australian Open. It is the men's championship. Stefanos Tsitsipas takes on Novak Djokovic, a battle for a Grand Slam, and rule number one here on Advantage Receiver. Hello everybody and welcome back to Advantage Receiver. We have now reached the end of the 2023 Australian Open and there's one match left to play. It is for the men's championship and the world number one ranking, Stefanos Tsitsipas versus Novak Djokovic. Now, this is a final that I predicted. I said it would be Tsitsipas and Djokovic in the final. We weren't sure how Djokovic's hamstring would hold up, especially in the early going. He said it was not good at all. And then Tsitsipas, he struggled in Grand Slams recently, but he got to the end this time, as he did in Paris. So it's now a rematch of that Grand Slam final back in 2021, Tsitsipas and Djokovic. So what will happen in this matchup tonight? Let's go over it and figure it out. So first, we're going to go over some of the things they've done against each other. So head-to-head, Djokovic is a 10-2 overall head-to-head over Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas actually won the first 2 out of 3 over Djokovic. Then Djokovic has won the last 9 in a row, including when they played the ATP Finals last year. So it's tough to say, with those two players, who's playing better right now. I mean, obviously, I think Djokovic, because it's in Australia, is playing better. Obviously, you go back to those matches in Paris, which are the 2 times they met in majors. The 2021 final, and then I think 2020 was semis. So they met back-to-back years. And the semis, Djokovic was up 2-0, and then Tsitsipas came back 1-5 in the semis. And then a year later, there in the finals, Tsitsipas was up 2-0, and Djokovic came back at 1-5. So they've both been 5-set encounters between these two when it comes to majors. We'll see if that happens tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing the match for sure, to see who plays better in the end. So let's go over Tsitsipas' semifinal first. Tsitsipas played well against Khachanov, but he could have won in straight sets, to be honest with you. That's a little cause for concern for me personally, because you have a chance to take the set from somebody, especially when you're playing Djokovic tonight, and you have a chance to have a lead and you got to grasp it and take it, because you give it back, Djokovic is not gonna let you take it back again. Djokovic is that kind of player. He's kind of I kind of relate him to a boa constrictor. Djokovic, he kind of takes a hold of you and squeezes and sucks the life out of you. So if you have a chance to take it out, you got to do it when you can. So if Tsitsipas is up a break and he's serving to win a set or something like that, and he gets broken, it's very hard to get back to that point because of how Djokovic is mentally. But Djokovic on the other side, in his semifinal against Tommy Paul, a little concerning in that first set. He was up 5-1 on Paul, was serving for it, and he got broken and ended up being 5-all. So a little concerning for Djokovic to play Tommy Paul. Tommy Paul never been to a semifinal before in a major. Djokovic up 5-1, and then Tommy Paul comes back and evens it up 5-all until Djokovic won 7-5, and then the rest of it was a steamroll for Djokovic over Tommy Paul in that one. So here we are now, the men's final. Stefanos Tsitsipas, Novak Djokovic, a rematch of the 2021 French Open final. What's going to happen? Well, let's see. For me, on one side, Tsitsipas has been serving, and his forehand has been on point the entire tournament. He has been hitting some incredible winners, especially that match against Khachanov. Some of the shots he hit were unbelievable. And his forehand's been like that pretty much the entire tournament. Match against Sinner, Khachanov. He's been playing really well on the forehand side and serving very well for Tsitsipas. So for me, that's the key for Tsitsipas, is to play that well and dominate with the forehand, because I think that will lead him to getting free points against Djokovic in this matchup. Djokovic broke in semifinal 7 out of 11 times, 64% for Djokovic. So that's a good number for breaks. Tsitsipas in his match against Khachanov had 18 aces, and won 84% of his first serve points. And he had his number of winners was impressive. 66 winners against Khachanov. Really impressive numbers there for Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas created 4 breakpoint chances, and he converted 3 of them. So even though he converted 3 out of the 4, he only created 4 breakpoint chances. So not a lot of chances to break for Khachanov, but he converted the breaks when he needed to. So that's maybe a cause for concern for Tsitsipas. If Djokovic gets his teeth into a service game of Tsitsipas and pushes him around a little bit, he could break often, because that's Djokovic's strength. I mean, which strength do you pick? The strength of Tsitsipas to serve, or the ability to return and break on Djokovic's side? It's tough to say, because Djokovic is a legend in the sport, and Tsitsipas has only been played in one major final before this, and Djokovic's been in countless ones. So it's tough to say on who owns that one. Let's talk about the French Open final that they played. What happened? Tsitsipas came out strong. He won the first 2 sets. He won the first set in a tiebreak 7-6, and the second set 6-2. And it looked like this was because Tsitsipas is a fantastic clay court player. It's won clay court tournaments, won Monte Carlo. So it looked like maybe this was his time to finally win a major over Djokovic in Paris, right? And, but the thing that you have to remember is it is very difficult to put these legends away in a major final. Look at Daniil Medvedev. Up 2 sets to love on Nadal in Australia. Nadal came back, won it in 5. Paris, Tsitsipas up 2 sets to love. Djokovic came back and won it in 5. You gotta put your foot on the throat of these legends to finish them off, because they're not gonna go away easily. And that's what Tsitsipas has to do tonight. If he wants to win this match, become world number 1, win his first major title, when the opportunities are there for him, he has to take them, because Djokovic isn't gonna give it to him. This is not, especially down here, where he's won 9 times. I think for Tsitsipas, like I said, his keys to victory for me are his forehand and the serve. If he can really dominate those things, he'll help. I think he can get his feet in this match and really do some. And I think possibly win this one if he can do those things. And then with Djokovic, he has the backhand and the return and the mental game for me. For Djokovic, his return obviously is the best in the history of the game, and mental game I think is stronger than Tsitsipas, because Djokovic has been in situations where he was down match point, and he's taken care of business at the tail end of a match in a major, so he's done that. Tsitsipas has not done that yet, especially in the match against Khachanov. He could have won it in 3, kind of stumbled a little bit, but able to rally and get it through in 5, which is good. But play like Djokovic is mentally tough. It's going to be tough for Tsitsipas to rebound if he makes a mistake like that, for Djokovic to let him come back if he makes a mistake. So it comes down to one factor for me in this final. What comes down to one thing: who can handle the pressure more? Like I said, Novak has proven it. Tsitsipas seems to yet do that. But there's 2 questions that you have to ask yourself for this final. One, when the pressure moments arrive for Tsitsipas, can he handle it? The other question is, will Margot Robbie show up? That's the second question. Will she show up? But I think it's good that this is a rematch for Tsitsipas, and here's why. I think he can take from mistakes he made in Paris in that 2 sets to love lead, ultimately blowing it in 5, and saying, okay, what did I do wrong? I know it's a different surface, but what did I do wrong? Why did I blow this match? What happened? Obviously, Tsitsipas was playing better in those first 2 sets. He was pushing Djokovic around, but then Djokovic came back and won it in 5. Of course, I remember Tsitsipas had a medical timeout, so that could have been a concern there. But that being said, Tsitsipas needs to know, okay, let me focus. What did I do wrong in this final against Djokovic? And why did he come back and win in 5 sets? What happened, right? And same thing with the semifinal he did. He was down 2 sets to love, and then he came back, won, and then he lost the 5th set. Again, same thing. Why didn't I win that 5th set? What happened there? He needs to figure that out tonight if he wants to win this match and win number one title in the world and the Australian Open if he wants to win. With Djokovic, he obviously, I think people believe he's deservedly of the number 1 ranking, because when he won Wimbledon, there were no ranking points earned for anybody. So he probably feels like he deserves to be number 1. And if he wins that tonight, he'll do that. Also, people are rallying behind him because of the situation that happened last year where he wasn't allowed to play because of the deportation issue. So this feels like a revenge story or a comeback story for Djokovic to come back, battle through the adversity, win this title that he never really got a chance to play last year. So this is not just for him to tie Nadal for most major titles. It's also world number 1 ranking to get back to number 1 again at the age of 35. So you look at that, that's a huge incentive for Djokovic to not, like I said, tie Nadal, go into Paris. Nadal doesn't look that healthy at the moment, so Djokovic could surpass him in Paris. He's won twice already. But you never can count Nadal out in Roland Garros, that's for sure. But Djokovic is a champ. They'll be even at 22, entering Roland Garros, and whoever wins that one could get the all-time lead. You would think those two are the top favorites along with other players, but with the way Djokovic looks right now, especially how his hamstring looked early on, now it seems to look like it's okay. If he can win tonight over Tsitsipas and start playing well in the clay court tournaments leading into Paris, who's to say he can't win that one too? And then Wimbledon, who's to say he can't win all 4 this year? Right? It's not out of the realm of possibility that he does that, the way he's playing. So he could end up with all 4 this year, the way he's been playing. We'll see. But with all that being said, time to make my prediction for the final. Now, I said it before, way back when the tournament was about to start. I said, and I quote, I'm going with Stefanos Tsitsipas over Novak Djokovic. Now, I said that back then because I was worried about the status of Djokovic's hamstring, and what Tsitsipas looked in the lead-up tournament, especially at the United Cup, he looked great in those matches. So I was like, okay, I think Tsitsipas looks like he's going to win this one, especially with Djokovic's possible injury to his hamstring not looking 100%. Well, now it looks 100%. Looks like it's moving. He's moving well. There seems to be no issue with the hamstring at all. So you're probably saying to yourself, well, looks like he's going to pick Djokovic. You'd be incorrect. I am not getting off my pick. I think Tsitsipas wins this one. I think he, when you're in a tournament like this, you know where the finish line is. It's eventually at some point. You know you have to win 7 matches to win the Grand Slam, win the major. And you're trying not to look too far ahead. But I think when the draw came out, Tsitsipas looked who was on the other side of the draw. He's like, okay, if I get to the final, more than likely I'm going to play Novak. Right? So I think internally, Tsitsipas anticipated this matchup. He knew he was going to play Djokovic at the end if he got there. And I think, similar to Sabalenka, who won yesterday, she believed she'd win this. I think Tsitsipas genuinely believes he believes he can win. I think he genuinely believes he could beat Djokovic here in Australia. I think he really does. So I think I am confident saying I'm not ready to get off that. I will stay with my pick. I will pick Stefanos Tsitsipas to win the Australian Open in 5 sets over Novak Djokovic. I will say it again. My pick to win the 2023 Australian Open for the men is Stefanos Tsitsipas over Novak Djokovic. I'll say it again. So I'm looking forward to the final tonight. They have a lot to live up to after that incredible final last night between Sabalenka and Rybakina. So hopefully tonight is the same kind of quality. But last night was big hitting, really good stuff from those players last night. It's a shame to see somebody lose, but good final last night. Hopefully tonight the men can deliver. Let's see what happens. All right. Thank you so much for watching the video today. I really appreciate it. If you liked the video, please leave a like. It lets me know you're enjoying the content today. Who are you thinking is going to win tonight? Tsitsipas or Djokovic? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for everything tennis, keep it here to Advantage Receiver. And like I said at the beginning of the tournament, I wanted to share my predictions on who will win the first Grand Slam of 2023. On the men's side, I'm going with Stefanos Tsitsipas over Novak Djokovic. And all I have to do is play.